it is. Look at our culture. Look at American music today.
Yes.
That's what.
It has expanded globally. And this was something that was never, they weren't thinking in terms of, let's reach out because for the most part, the technology that was back then, we didn't know about all the folks that was living in China and all of that other stuff, so we had no way of connecting. But the spiritual connection and the vibes that are in our music, it was
Uh-huh.
foretelling. It was futuristic before we even knew what it was.
Right, right. And when you think of where black music came from, you got to look at where black people came from,
Yes, indeed.
right?
Yes, indeed.
And if you think about what we've been through and what our ancestors went through when you go back to the motherland,
Hmm.
okay, and you think about the trials and tribulations, and you think about, I mean, I sit here, I'm just thinking about Egypt right now. And I
Yes,
just think about when you think about all that pain and that
yes,
hard work
indeed.
and that labor that people went through, you listen to reggae music, for instance, it's when again, you listen to anything, whether you go back to the motherland, go to some of the islands, there's all a connection there
No.
because that music is shaped by personal experience.
Hmm.
And I think it's also why, especially with gospel music, why it can hit you in your soul and then take you up. I think it's why in the same thing with soul blues, people would hit you where you at. They weren't talking about Jesus. They were talking about you need to leave that no good man at home or that no good woman
Indeed.
that you got or whoever. You need to get up on out of that. Like
Yes,
Denise would say, I would say, drop that zero and get yourself a hero.
yes,
That's
indeed.
what we connect with that. We resonate with that
Yeah.
because we're not trying to stay here. We're trying to go up here. And when you have people who listen to your blues and they say, well, no, only blues can only sound like this, and then they get out there and they imitate all the blues people and they try to sound like them, they can't resonate with moving on up because that's there.
Not their lived experience.
If you're already at the top, what are you trying to move on
Well,
up to?
hello. When you already got the power, got the control, what are you trying to move to next?
And so they can't relate to it.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
why they can't relate to our experience. They can't relate to why is it that, well, that's soul blues, that's not the blues. Who are you to tell me what my music
Yeah.
is and
Yes.
how I can make my music
Yes,
evolve? This
no.
came out of your ancestors were on these plantations doing these Negro spirituals. Let me tell you
Hello.
something.
Hello.
Your ancestors gave me these Negro
Yeah.
spirituals.
And that's